Chapter 1: The Mirage of Luxury Aviation. For decades, the image of the private jet has been carefully curated by global media as the ultimate display of consumer hedonism. We are told stories of tech barons, Wall Street titans, and Middle Eastern monarchs spending hundreds of millions of dollars on flying palaces equipped with gold-plated bathrooms, silk-covered master bedrooms, and fine dining bars. To the average spectator, this is a simple story of excess, a manifestation of a class that has run out of things to buy on the ground. However, inside the closed boardrooms of the world's absolute financial elite, the acquisition of a private aircraft has almost nothing to do with comfort or prestige. To the 0.1%, a $500 million customized commercial airliner is not a luxury accessory. It is viewed as a critical geopolitical survival asset. As the modern nation-state moves toward tighter borders, increased digital surveillance, and volatile regulatory framework changes, the elite are coming to a profound realization. Physical mobility is the ultimate foundation of true autonomy. This paradigm shift represents the birth of private airborne sovereignty. While the middle class and wealthy corporate executives wait in commercial airport queues, subject to international biometric tracking, sudden visa cancellations, and state-mandated travel restrictions, the ultra-wealthy are building an independent, parallel transportation grid. They view their private aircraft not as vehicles, but as sovereign mobile domains that exist entirely outside the standard physical reach of national jurisdictions. This is the calculated engineering of capital flight at 40,000 feet. In an era where a single state court order can instantly freeze your physical bank accounts and ground your standard corporate assets, possessing an intercontinental asset that can move your family, your private intelligence team, and your liquid wealth across oceans at a moment's notice is the ultimate insurance policy. Chapter 2: Tactical Retrofitting and Shadow Defenses. The true mechanical reality of elite airborne sovereignty becomes apparent when you look beneath the luxury leather interiors of these modified aircraft. The 0.1% are no longer buying standard private jets. They are acquiring commercial-grade hulls, such as Boeing business jets or Airbus corporate jets, and sending them to heavily classified completion centers. Here, hidden from public scrutiny, these aircraft undergo tactical retrofitting that mirrors the engineering of state military transports. These multi-million-dollar modifications include military-grade directed infrared countermeasure systems, or DIRCM, which are designed to detect and neutralize incoming heat-seeking surface-to-air missiles. Furthermore, these private fleets are increasingly outfitted with advanced electronic warfare, jamming pods, and radar-evading paint finishes, designed to obscure the aircraft's signature from public tracking systems. This is not simple corporate paranoia. It is a calculated macroeconomic response to a fracturing global landscape. The elite understand that in a scenario of total geopolitical escalation, civil unrest, or a sudden, aggressive wealth tax implementation by a desperate nation-state, their physical safety depends entirely on non-interceptability. By integrating military-grade anti-missile tech and secure, unjammable satellite communication systems into their personal aircraft, they ensure that their mobility cannot be checked by any local government or non-state actor. They have effectively constructed a private flying fortress that can navigate international airspace without being held hostage by the territorial laws or physical infrastructure collapses of the ground below. Chapter 3: The Extraterritorial Airspace Hack. To fully understand the genius behind airborne sovereignty, one must analyze how the elite exploit international aviation laws and maritime boundaries. Under the Chicago Convention and global aviation regulatory frameworks, an aircraft registered in a specific nation carries the legal jurisdiction of that registry while flying over international waters. By strategically registering their stealth-ready private fleets in sovereign tax havens and ultra-flexible jurisdictions such as San Marino, the Cayman Islands, or Aruba, the elite create a complex layer of legal extraterritoriality. The moment an elite aircraft clears the 12-mile territorial waters limit of a nation-state and enters international airspace, it becomes an independent floating legal entity, completely immune to the search warrants, asset seizures, and physical arrests of the host country they just left. This creates an unassailable legal vacuum at 40,000 feet, while an elite individual is inside their registered cabin, over the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean. They are operating under a regulatory shield that no standard national police, force or tax agency can breach. They can conduct billions of dollars in untraceable digital asset transfers, execute corporate restructuring, and hold classified sovereign board meetings, completely outside the reach of state intelligence monitoring networks. The sky is no longer a vacuum between destinations. It has been transformed into a highly strategic legal sanctuary, where capital rules supreme, free from the legislative friction of the earth. Chapter 4: The Closed Network of Private, Fixed Base Operators. The infrastructure that supports this private airborne empire is completely segregated from the public aviation sector. The 0.1% do not pass through terminal gates or interact with standard customs officials. Instead, they operate through an exclusive global network of private, fixed base operators, or FBOs, and highly secure private airstrips. These facilities are often owned by private equity conglomerates or sovereign wealth funds, designed specifically to provide total anonymity and rapid transit for the hyper-wealthy. In these private terminals, customs and immigration protocols are heavily streamlined, often handled by private concierges, who ensure that the identity of the passengers and the contents of the baggage remain entirely shielded from public logging systems. This infrastructure segregation ensures that the elite can execute a physical extraction from any continent without leaving a digital footprint in standard public tracking registries. In a hyper-surveilled future where every individual's movement is monitored by state-controlled AI travel grids, the ability to disappear into a private terminal, board a missile-defended stealth aircraft, and land in a sovereign wealth sanctuary is a form of power that cannot be overstated. This closed network of private runways serves as the physical escape hatches of the global financial system, allowing absolute capital to slip through the fingers of nation-states whenever a systemic crisis arises. Chapter 5: The Aerial Neo-Feudal Secession. What this permanent migration to private, militarized aviation signifies is the ultimate fracturing of human civilization. Along the lines of physical mobility, we are rapidly entering a multi-tiered global landscape. On the ground, the masses will remain trapped within highly regulated national borders, subject to algorithmic surveillance, economic inflation, and restricted freedom of movement under the guise of security protocols. Above them, traveling at near-sonic speeds through the clouds, the sovereign 0.1% will look down from their uninterceptable flying dynasties, entirely decoupled from the social, legal, and economic crises of the nation-states below. This profound reorganization of human movement alters the very definition of a citizen. When a select group of individuals can purchase their own military-grade aviation infrastructure, bypass international border laws, and isolate their physical presence from state authority, the concept of a shared national destiny becomes completely obsolete. The social contract is erased, replaced entirely by a network of private flight paths and sovereign asset shields. The elite's investment in armed stealth jets is the final, definitive act of their physical secession from human society. They have conquered the sky, transforming it into the ultimate playground for immortal capital. Is this private aerial autonomy the peak achievement of individual human liberty, or a terrifying descent into a neo-feudal world, where the laws of gravity only apply to the poor? Tell us your philosophy in the comments below. Thank you for watching this investigation. Subscribe to future Prism Lab for the deeper hidden mechanics of global wealth.